Okay, now that this lecture is being recorded, good morning again. Today is Wednesday. A week ago, we had a lecture about IELTS speaking parts 1, 2, 3. Today, we're going to discuss the common mistakes in speaking. You might be wondering, why do we always have to discuss the common mistakes? It's really important for you to know what the mistakes of the previous test takers did in their exams so that what do you think is the reason why we need to discuss common mistakes or mistakes in general? To avoid. So, one of the students here answered to avoid para daw maiwasan yung mga mali at syempre the higher your points are, the better, right? Any other answers? Why do we need to talk about mistakes? I know not everyone loves to talk, not anyone likes talking about mistakes, right? We don't like talking about mistakes. It kind of hurts our ego. And parang akala natin when we talk about mistakes, you are personally attacked. No, that's not the case. In our context, in our situation, we will talk about mistakes because we need constructive criticism. So, what is constructive criticism? So, constructive criticism is a form of feedback given to a person in order for them to realign themselves. So, bibigyan kita ng feedback, but that's not to judge you. That's not to make you feel bad, but that is because we want those wrong actions to be corrected. Okay? Because I really believe that if you don't have a coachable attitude, if you don't have a teachable heart, mahirap talagang tumanggap ng constructive criticism. But of course, we all know the only way for us to move on to the next level is to identify what are the weak points, what are the things that I'm doing wrong in order for me to know what I should do right and what areas I should improve on. Okay? So, gusto ko magbago yung attitude natin pagdating sa mga mistakes at saka sa evaluation. Okay? Kasi maraming students nagsasabi sa akin, Ma'am, nahihiya ako magpa-coach kasi baka ma-judge yung English ko. Well, technically, that's the reason kung bakit nandito ka sa review center. To be judged. But in a positive way. We're not judging you for the sake of judging you. We're judging you for the sake of your improvement. Gets? So, naniniwala ako that a person who seeks evaluation, feedback, yun yung mas nagsasucceed. Kasi nagtatanong siya. Nagtatanong siya, saan pa ba ako kulang? Ano pa ba yung pwede kong i-improve? Even as an employee, you know for a fact that yung mga boss nyo, sasabihan kayo kapag nagkakamali kayo or saan kayo kulang. Kasi you have one goal, and that is to execute the task correctly, right? And I really believe that a person who is humble enough to ask for feedback and correction can navigate towards better opportunities in life, right? Okay. So I hope that little pep talk pushed you a little bit. Okay. So we will begin. So as discussed last week, the IELTS speaking grading criteria covers fluency and coherence, which is 25% of your score, lexical resource, aka vocabulary, diction, that's 25% of your score. This is highly important in writing as well, hindi lang sa speaking. Grammatical range and accuracy, 25%, and of course, pronunciation, 25%. I think if I'm going to be the lecturer within the week, this Friday or Saturday, my feeling ko hindi Saturday, but this Friday, if I'm going to be the lecturer, I will do a minor lecture which covers only pronunciation since I haven't done this in a long time. especially for those who have strong Filipino accent. Okay. So fluency and coherence discusses your ability to speak at length. Okay? It assesses the logical flow of your ideas. When we say logical flow, madali bang intindihin yung mga sinasabi mo, or because you're trying to impress the examiner so much, ginagamitan mo siya ng sobrang difficult words, ino-overthink mo yung situation, kaya ikaw mismo, naguguluhan ka din sa sagot mo, okay? So fluency and coherence is about, even though you're using simple words, as long as you are constructing meaningful and understandable sentences, yun yung importante sa fluency and coherence. Kung ano yung tanong, yun din dapat yung isasagot mo. Hindi mo kailangan ma-off topic, hindi mo rin dapat dagdagan ng mga information na hindi naman relevant dun sa tanong. Nagkakamali lahat sa unang tanong pa lang, which is, can you tell me your complete name? Or could you please tell me what your complete name is? 'Di ba? Una pa lang, ang sinasagot na ng ibang test takers, sumusobra yung sagot. Dinadagdagan nila ng age, status, or job. But ang tanong lang naman is, can you tell me your complete name? So technically, you shouldn't be adding any other information aside from that. Kaya lang naman din tinatanong ng examiner yon, is because gusto niya lang ma-verify na ikaw talaga yung nasa ID. Kasi meron naman na silang ID na hawak kasi nag-register ka using your ID. Let's say, passport mo yung ginamit mo for registration, right? So let's just say that the passport siguro 10 years na kasi ngayon yung validity ng passports. Malay mo, medyo totoy ka pa, nene ka dun sa picture na yon. Hindi ka na masyadong makilala kasi maybe you lost weight, or maybe you gained weight. So, bina-verify niya lang na ikaw yon. Okay? So, ibigay mo lang din yung kung ano yung hinihingi niya, which is the name itself. Complete name. Alright? And if you want to be a little more talkative enough, you can tell the examiner that your nickname is Shannon. My nickname is Shan. Okay. My name is Shannon. You can call me Shan for short. My friends call me Shan. Or kung marami kang names like John Anthony, Mark John Anthony. Diba? Mga Filipino, mahilig magpahirap sa mga anak eh. Dinadamihan nila yung names. So, alin doon yung gagamitin mong nickname? Kung saan ka comfortable. Mark, John, Anthony, whatever. You can call me Mark for short. Ganyan, okay? And your ability to speak at length. Hindi pwedeng sa interview, isang tanong, isang sagot lang. You can't really do that. Or else, you will be 100% not gonna hit your target score in speaking. Kung ang sagot mo lang, yes, no. What's your favorite hobby? Basketball. Because how can the examiner measure your fluency if you can't make complete sentences and if you can't elaborate or expound your answers? Okay? So kahit hindi siya nagpo-follow-up question, kailangan you take the initiative. My favorite hobby is traveling. Or my favorite hobby is going to cafes. I love visiting new cafes because the aroma of coffee relaxes my mind and calms me. And I love taking photos and videos at very aesthetic cafes. It's kind of a hype nowadays. Coffee culture has become a hype in our generation, and I believe that I am also a fan of it. So whenever I have time, I invite my friends or sometimes my family. We go out for coffee. We spend quality time together. And I really believe that conversations are better over a cup of coffee. Ah, 'di ba? Kala mo talaga may pinopromote na ano, no? Na cafe. Uy, punta pala kayo sa cafe. Wala, wala. Manifesting pa lang. Pero ang dami na ngayong competitors, in fairness, di ba, sa mga cafes. Because, yun nga, sobrang naging hyped up yung industry na yun. Although, sa mga hindi nakakaalam, in European countries, matagal nang hyped up ang coffee culture. Ngayon lang, medyo nalilate nga talaga ang Philippines pagdating sa mga maraming bagay. Sa maraming bagay. But yeah, speaking of coffee, are you guys having your coffee right now? Make sure that you have eaten breakfast and had a glass of water before drinking coffee because the acidity from the caffeine does not do good in your stomach. So don't ever drink coffee right after waking up. Much better if you drink a glass of water first. Parang hindi na to IELTS lecture. Parang iba na. Okay, I should stop. Next is lexical resource. This is the range of vocabulary words that you use. Precision. Precision means, tama ba, akma ba yung ginamit kong word sa situation na to? Kasi pwede kasing, ang daming words, synonyms, antonyms in the English vocabulary. You have to be very um knowledgeable kung ano bang mga words ang mas accurate or mas okay pakinggan sa ganong situation. Okay? And nakadepende din yun sa level mo. As I said last time, we have beginner level, intermediate level, advanced, and native speaker level. And each category has three levels themselves. Low beginner, mid, and high. 'Di ba? Tapos low intermediate, mid, high. So, ganun din sa advanced. Now, kung hindi ka naman ganun ka-advance pagdating sa English proficiency mo, hindi din naman ina-expect ni examiner na mag-complex words ka. So, huwag ka masyadong ma-pressure. Yung mga nasa advanced level tsaka native speaker level na band 7, 8, 9, yan, pwede ka nang gumamit ng mga less common expressions, idiomatic language, as long as you sound natural at hindi pilit. Yun lang naman talaga yung gusto ng mga examiner, yung hindi ka nagsa-sound na pilit. Okay. Hindi ko na masyadong ina-explain in detail yung bawat criteria kasi I did that last Wednesday. You can just replay the video on my YouTube channel. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's ms.s, Miss S. And nasa isang folder lahat, nasa isang playlist, I'm sorry, playlist lahat ng IELTS lectures. If you do want anything to be replayed, you can just access those videos. Ngayon naman, mas maraming videos kapag kay Sir Kevin kayo nag-subscribe. Kevin Mangulabnan, that's the name of his YouTube channel. Okay? So, another criteria is grammar. Mhm. Good news, grammar is not highly important in speaking compared to writing, but it's still very important because it's 25% of your total score. Kaya naman, hindi din dapat balewalain. But what I'm saying here is when it comes to speaking, examiners are known to be very considerate when it comes to your grammar. Okay? So, pagdating sa sentence structure nyo, it's okay to use simple sentence structures as long as you know you're knowledgeable in using transition signals. Okay? Para naman maganda yung flow, yung continuity ng sinasabi mo, may logical flow, at saka may coherence. Yun yung united yung thought, iisa yung theme, at maganda yung organization ng ideas mo at thoughts mo. Okay? And then, pronunciation, of course. Pumapasok din kasi sa pronunciation yung tone. Okay? I did mention last time that when you are in the interview, you have to make sure na makuha mo yung loob ng examiner. And there's no other way for you to do that than to show a positive behavior or a positive demeanor, right? Kasi sino ba naman hindi matutuwa sa taong polite kausap, humble kausap, 'di ba? Anyone naman. And it's a live interview, guys. Face to face siya kahit na virtual lang kapag dito sa Cabanatuan branch kayo nag-take ng exam. Virtual lang 'yon, pero live pa rin 'yon. So, kung ano man yung pinapakita mo, yun na din yung reaction na makukuha mo from the examiner. Okay? So, look smart, talk smart, think smart, and behave smart, 'di ba? Kasi syempre, it adds to the points. Feeling ko lang. Kasi subjective mag-judge yung mga examiners eh. And you know guys, since IELTS lang yung may interview among the other tests like PTE, um, MET, CELPIP, and CLEX. Sa mga exams na yon, English proficiency tests, yung IELTS lang yung may live interview. So, chance mo to shine, okay? And I've heard that the higher score you get in speaking, pagdating sa IELTS, sa interview, that it's better. Parang mas maganda yung impression sa'yo ng examiner. And of course, for those applying for permanent residency, that would be such an edge for you. Okay? So, word stress, maraming mga words in the English language, same spelling, same pronunciation, but if you change the stress, it also changes the meaning of the word. For example, the word address. You can't tell strangers your address. That's a little scary and inappropriate, right? I'm talking about where I live, my address. Now, if I use the word address as a verb, nagbabago din yung intonation niya. Address as a noun, address as a verb. In the meeting, I will be addressing all of the concerns of our employees. Meaning, i-discuss ko siya, i-bring up ko siya, pag-uusapan natin siya so that we can settle it. Okay, so in a relationship, communication is important. You have to be addressing what the problems are. Because if not, y'all know what's going to happen. It can lead to a lot of complications. That's why addressing your concerns to your partner is highly important. So there you go. We have the 4 grading criteria for speaking. Again, they are namely fluency and coherence, grammar, lexical resource, and pronunciation. Okay, have you ever seen this image? Or is it your first time? Okay, for those participants on Zoom, I need you to drop a word. Send a message, like a word to describe what do you think he currently feels? What kind of emotions does this guy have right now? Can you please drop your messages on the chat thread? I will be waiting. Anxious. Mario said anxious. Jam said overwhelmed, shocked, worried. Okay. Ang daming entry ni Juliano. Siya na daw bahala sa entry nyo, guys. I'm just kidding. He's worried. Okay. Anxious? What are other words synonymous to the word anxious? Worried. Madami pa. Can you give me some answers? Nervous, right? Okay. Now, I wanted... Okay, may iba pang sagot. Frazzled. Halatang natin na ni Jam tong lecture na to. I'm just kidding. Uy, in fairness, naalala mo ba yung mga words na pinag-usapan natin sa lecture, Jam, ah? Dapat, Ralph, since Gen Z ka, dapat alam mo yung Menti B. Menti B. Okay, so guys, my next question is, when do you feel this way? What are the situations that make you feel the way this man feels? What are the situations? Real life situations. Let's talk about real life situations, okay? When was the last time that you felt this way? And what scenario was that? Not beating a deadline. Yes, that's really important. Anybody else? When you're uncomfortable, can you say a specific situation wherein you felt uncomfortable? Ang mga situation na gusto kong sabihin niyo sa akin is when I had my first job interview, or probably when you met your partner's family for the first time, when you... Oh, okay. Exactly. When you get screwed by your boss, right? And I think this is how you feel when you do something for the first time. You're clueless, right? You're overwhelmed, you're tensed, frazzled, uptight feeling, wired up, anxious, worried. All these words describe how you feel when it's coaching day. Kapag sinabi na ni ma'am, okay, who's gonna be left behind for one-on-one coaching after the lecture? Tapos walang gustong magtaas ng kamay, na-intimidate, nag-hesitate, na-overwhelm. Ma'am, kinakabahan ako. Wag mong hirapan yung mga tanong. Okay? But that's actually a very good feeling. Okay? Because it's gonna push you to do your best. You can actually turn that negative emotion into positive emotion. Kaya mong baguhin yung takbo ng isip mo, okay? You're stronger than your mind, actually. What you can do is turn your nervousness into excitement. Yeah, you can do that. Change of perspective. That's all you need. Okay? Naniniwala kasi ako, everything starts with the way you think. When you think positively, you tell your mind, you feed your mind positive thoughts. Magmamanifest yon sa lahat. In the words you say, in the actions you do, and your actions will become a habit, and then it becomes a lifestyle, and then it becomes you. Okay? It's all about how you process things in your mind. I know we're all going through different phases in our lives. Maaring medyo nasa pangit kang phase right now or nasa madilim kang phase right now. But as cliche as it may sound, there's always light at the end of the tunnel. Okay? Everything that you're going through right now, it's temporary. It's not what happens to you that's gonna be your downfall. It's how you react to it. Okay? Okay, hindi ako pumasa sa interview. Hindi na lang siguro ako mag-a-apply ulit. Tambay na lang siguro ako. Then nothing's gonna happen to your life if you have that kind of mentality. Hindi ako pasa sa first take ko sa IELTS. Does that mean it's the end of the world? Are you gonna give up that easily? Hello, there are so many test takers na paulit-ulit, like 3 times pa bago sila makapasa. They did not succeed. They did not succeed because they gave up. They succeeded because they kept on trying. Okay? So it's really in the way you think. Nakaka-affect din yung mga tao sa paligid natin, yung environment, because there are people who will encourage us, but there are people who are kind of negative. Kaya piliin mo kung sino yung circle mo. Okay? You have to choose to be with people who bring out the best in you. Don't be with people who are toxic. Okay? Kasi there's no growth in that. So before we continue, I would like to share the story of a goldfish. As you know, nauuso ngayon yung mga nagtitinda ng goldfish sa mga perya. Alam niyo ba yon? Baka naman di kayo nagpupunta ng perya, ah. Nagtataka kayo, ay ma'am, nagpupunta ka ng perya. Hindi naman ako nagpupunta ng perya nowadays. Kasi at my age, kala mo talagang tanda na. Hindi na ako masyadong mahilig magpunta sa perya. But I know, kasi sinamahan ko yung niece ko. I think we were at an event in a public place. And then I saw some vendors of goldfish. And sa ibang bansa kasi, sa mga amusement parks, prize kasi ang goldfish eh. Like, let's say, naglaro ka. You're gonna get a prize and one of them is a goldfish. At yung mga bata naman natutuwa. Oh, I'm gonna have a goldfish. I'm gonna bring it home. Put it in a bowl. In a clear, circular bowl, right? Natutuwa sila kasi they think that it's amusing for them. But the thing about goldfish is it will only grow at a certain size depending on its environment. If you keep the goldfish in a small, circular, clear bowl, it's not gonna grow. It will eventually die. Kasi hindi yun yung tamang environment for it to survive and to grow. Ang tamang environment for fish is seawater. It's the ocean, right? They will grow in their maximum potential when they are in the right environment. And I want you to think about that. You will grow when you are surrounded by the right people, when you are in the right environment. And you have to make that decision. You have to make that decision for yourself. Nobody's going to make that decision for you. It's just you. Okay? So, just like the goldfish, pag nasa maling environment tayo, pag hindi conducive yung environment for growth and for reaching our maximum potential, you'll just shrink, you'll just stay as you are, and eventually die. Die there. Maybe not physically, pero yung dreams mo namatay. Yung willingness mo to level up, it can die, right? So, huwag kayong ma-overwhelm sa coaching because that is the right environment for you to grow, okay? That is the right and conducive place in order for you to identify ano ba yung mga mali ko? Bakit ba hindi ako maka-reach ng band 6 or stuck na lang ako sa 5.5? Ang tanong, nakikinig ka ba sa coach mo? Nagpapa-coaching ka ba? Kasi kung hindi, talagang magsistay ka kung nasan ka ngayon. All right? And again, it's your decision to make. Ikaw lang makakapag-decide if you are willing to step out of your comfort zone. Because as long as you are in that comfort zone, I don't think you're gonna be able to grow and improve your skills. Kasi, alam ko may mga timeline kayo. Kailangan ko makapag-exam ng gantong petsa, gantong petsa. Pero the thing is, it's not about the deadline. It's about you. Kung paano mo ba minamaximize yung buong araw mo to improve your skills. Because IELTS, akala nila exam to. Pero the thing is, it's an English proficiency assessment, which assesses your English proficiency. And the only way for you to improve your English proficiency is to be exposed to the language, to use the language 24/7, every day. Ako, naniniwala ko, the reason why I am still fluent in English, even though I live in the Philippines, is because it's my job and I use the language on a daily basis. Because if I don't, I will really lose it. Okay? Okay. Let's talk about the common mistakes with fluency and coherence first. Okay. Stuttering and fillers. Ano yung stuttering? Tsaka fillers. Does anybody know? I have here Daniel, Julian, Mario, Ryan, Shira. I think isa sa inyo pwedeng makasagot ng tanong. Are you guys sleeping? Ang haba ng pep talk tapos natutulog lang kayo? Pag sinabi natin stuttering, what is it? Yung Tagalog, nauutal. Fillers, yung mga unnecessary words that you keep adding in the middle of your sentences that are not necessary. Okay? Stuttering, ito yun. Okay, yan. Yung maraming mga in between. Yung fillers naman, it can more likely be the word like, yeah, really. Yun yung fillers, okay? All right, let me read it. Ito yung example ng isang test taker na nagsastutter at may fillers. Well, I've actually I've worked on similar projects before, but I I think the most challenging part was managing the tight deadlines. Compare it to deleting the stuttering and deleting the fillers. Well, I've actually worked on similar projects before, but I think the most challenging part was managing the tight deadlines. Compare natin yung first tsaka yung second. What have you noticed? What have you noticed? Mas maganda pakinggan yung una. Yung pangalawa, syempre. Yung pangalawa, yes. Why? Why do you think mas magandang pakinggan yung pangalawa? There is clarity. Exactly, Mario. Thank you so much. Ang ganda nung sagot ni Mario. Sabi niya mas malinaw. May clarity kapag walang stuttering at walang fillers, di ba? At magagawa mo lang yan kung drum roll. Kung hindi ka masyadong kinakabahan. Back to coaching tayo. Hindi ako titigil talaga hanggat di kayo magpa-coaching lahat bukas. Back to coaching. When you do things repeatedly, when you put yourself in the same situation over and over, you build familiarity. Again, familiarity. Okay? And familiarity builds confidence. Okay, I need to talk to Daniel. Daniel, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
I want to ask you, kasi
Yes,
sabi
ma'am.
mo, nag-abroad ka, right?
Yes po.
How was your experience nung unang beses kang nag-work as an OFW sa Japan?
Eventually, when I arrived in Japan, I always remember I'm shocked because as I learned studying Japanese here in the Philippines for almost 2 months. No,
Can you speak a
not
little
exactly.
louder, please?
You can hear me now, ma'am?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. Mm. When I arrived in Japan, I was shocked because I can't eventually I can't understand what they're saying
Mm-hmm.
because it's a big, they have a big different what I learned here in the Philippines and why how they speak in Japanese, the real Japanese, how they
Mm-hmm.
speak it. So I was shocked. I was I
You
was
were
stuck because
unfamiliar with the language,
yes,
number one.
yeah,
Number two, culture shock. Tama ba?
yes,
And number three, bago pa lang sa'yo yung working environment doon.
yes, boy, exactly.
Okay, thank you, Daniel, for your answer. I love it. Okay, so, ganun talaga. Sa umpisa, everything is difficult. Now, after years of doing it, after a few more weeks, Daniel, kamusta ka naman after a few weeks of working there?
Uh, Nag-study pa po ako ng 1 month doon. Sinend po nila kami sa school for 1 month. At
It got easier, right?
yeah, hindi naman po inabot ng weeks. Nung medyo
Nag-improve.
na kuwan ko na po yung napagka-connect ko na pinag-aralan ko sa Philippines,
Mhm.
and then na medyo napapa-familiarize na sa akin kasi maghapon, tapos natutulog kami 12 na ng gabi, gising kami ng 6 a.m. aral, matatapos ang face-to-face study 5, tapos 5 bibigyan ka ng sandamakmak
Mhm.
na na mga paperworks, tapos may listening pa, so makakatulog ka na around 1 a.m. para matapos mo lang yung mga binigay sa inyo na task for tomorrow. So 3 days, 4 days, na-familiarize ko na yung Japanese. So naiintindihan ko na,
Wow, that's fast
nakukuhan ko na,
progress.
naintindihan ko na. Not very well, but naka-catch up ko na yung meron na akong naiintindihan sa mga sinasabi nila.
Okay, thank you so much, Daniel. Okay. So sabi ni Daniel, nung unang dating niya sa Japan, he had difficulty because of language barrier. Ganon kasi nangyayari talaga pag unang beses mo sa foreign country. Mahirap. Ganon din sa language learning. When you're trying to learn a new language, kagaya ng sabi ni Daniel kanina, it took him a few more days bago maging familiar, a few more weeks. 'Di ba? Depende yan sa kung gaano ka ka-determinado at kung gaano ka ka-consistent. Okay? So, sa umpisa talaga medyo mahirap. Pero, the interview, kaya mong maging familiar pag weekly ka nag-undergo ng interview. Okay? Kaya naman, yung stuttering tsaka fillers, ang solution lang yan, don't be so nervous. And the only way for you not to be nervous is for you to build familiarity to the situation. Okay, so one of the number one causes of stuttering and fillers is trying not to commit fillers. Okay, minsan kasi ino-overthink mo siya. Kaya naman, minsan, nako-conscious ka masyado na magkamali. In that case, don't be overly conscious. Unable to link words, phrases, and sentences to form an idea. Okay, so mamaya magpe-present ako ng iba't ibang transition words, linking words in order for you to start your sentences and to continue your sentences. Bibigyan ko kayo ng sample sentences para hindi kayo robotic pakinggan, okay? I will present a list of linking words and discourse markers. Another cause of stuttering and fillers is being uncomfortable, nervous, and self-conscious. And the only way for you to get through it, to get over it, is through constant practice. Wala nang ibang paraan. Just keep practicing. We meet at this review center 4 times in a week. 2 times with Sir Kevin, 2 times with me. Nakakapag mock test kayo twice a week. Sinend ko sa inyo yung link ng computer mock. Pwede nyo siyang gawin sa bahay nyo using a tablet or a computer. Hindi ko nire-recommend ng cellphone. Masyadong maliit yung screen. So, depende na lang talaga sa time management mo yun. Sa mga may trabaho, mga may business, naiintindihan ko kayo. Pero if you really want something, you'll make time for it. No excuses, guys. If you want something, if you want changes, if you want progress, you need to make time for it. Okay? Ganun talaga. Unclear. Okay, limited vocabulary. Muntikan ko na ma-skip. Ma'am, hindi nga ako magaling sa vocabulary. Dapat ba kabisaduhin ko yung buong dictionary? Hindi naman. Ang OA naman. Okay. So, isa kasi sa mga dahilan kung bakit pautal-utal ka at ang dami mong fillers kasi hindi mo maisip agad yung gusto mong sabihin. Hindi agad pumapasok sa isip mo yung gusto mong sabihin in English. Kasi minsan, you think in Tagalog and then you speak in English. Pero ang dapat mong gawin, think in English para you speak in English as well. Okay? So in order for you to improve your vocabulary, you need to read more and observe English speakers. Ang tanong, nanonood ka ba ng balita? Nagbabasa ka ba? Maraming ways, podcasts, YouTube videos, these lectures, they can all improve your vocabulary. Okay? But you need to be intentional about it. Lalo na kung academic test yung kukunin mo. Kasi academic test requires higher level of vocabulary. Okay? Alam mo naman na ang lalabas sa exam ay academically inclined materials. If you are taking your mock test regularly, mafafamiliarize ka na sa mga topics na lumalabas, sa mga usual na kino-cover ng mga articles, stories, diba? Scientific stories or even mga inventions or environmentally related topics. Dapat yung mga yun yung inaaral mo, okay? You have no excuses anymore. Napakadaming materials online. You just need to be more intentional in navigating your way through the online world. At nagbibigay ako ng suggestions, guys. 'Di ba? Sinesendan ko kayo ng mga link. Saan ba yung mga reliable na websites? Engu.com, TED Talk. Okay, ilista ko ba dito? TED Education. Sa mga previous lectures ko, mahaba pa yung list na yon. Pwede ko kayong sendan mamaya sa GC ng list ng mga links na pwede nyong i-access. Unclear questions or unfamiliar with the topic. Okay. Pag hindi malinaw yung tanong, hindi mo masyadong naintindihan yung tanong ni examiner, what should you do? I need answers from you guys. What's the best thing to do kung hindi mo narinig or naintindihan yung tanong?
Be honest, just say it, hindi mo naintindihan o hindi mo narinig. If hindi mo talaga narinig, kung hindi mo naintindihan, hindi mo naintindihan.
Daniel, what did you say? Can you type it, please? Because I can't hear you so well. Medyo malawak kasi itong room na to, guys. So, one of the best ways in order to come up with a solution is to ask for repetition. Okay? Ask for repetition. Ito lang yung tanong na eligible during the interview. Or, yes. There you go. Paano naman kung ang problema natin, unfamiliar with the topic? Balik tayo dito sa read more, observe English speakers, mag-aral, maging updated sa kung ano yung nangyayari. Kasi for sure, ang itatanong ngayon about world news. So, ina-update ba natin ang mga sarili natin about sa world news? Or nagdo-doom scrolling lang kayo ng mga kung ano-anong reels? So, be productive with your time, guys, okay? Now, may mga instances talaga na hindi ka familiar sa topic, which is okay. It's okay. Let's say, medyo mahirap nga kasi never mo pang nabasa yung certain question na yon or topic na yon. Okay lang maging honest. But don't resort to this right away. So kung umpisa pa lang, parang hindi mo na talaga naaral yung tanong na to, ask for repetition. Mag-effort ka muna. Okay? Can you please repeat the question? Ngayon, baka sakaling may pumasok sa isip mo pag pinarepeat mo yung tanong. Ngayon, kung wala talaga at wala kang mapiga sa isip mo, wag mo nang i-attempt sagutin yung tanong ng sagot na alam mo namang malayo dun sa tanong. Okay? Just be honest. Honestly, I'm not familiar with the topic, but rest assured, I'll once I get home or pwede rin after this, I'll do my research about it. Or pwede rin namang I'll improve my knowledge. Huwag na ngayon. Or pwede rin, honestly, I'm not very knowledgeable. Hindi pa spelling ng knowledgeable ko. Ayan. Honestly, I'm not familiar with the topic. Honestly, I'm not very knowledgeable regarding that issue. But rest assured, once I get home or after this, I'll do my research about it. O, di ba? Maganda pakinggan. Hindi naman kasi kailangan lahat alam mo, okay? Okay lang naman. Di ka naman bibigyan ng mababang score just because you don't know about a certain topic. Because IELTS is not an intelligence test. It's a test that measures your capability to express yourself in the English language. Kaya kung hindi mo alam yung sagot sa tanong na yon, wala kang ka-idea Just be honest about it. Marami ng students na gumawa ng technique na to at isa sa kanila, sobrang kabado niya after ng exam. It so happened na ako yung lecturer ng Saturday. So after niya magpa-interview, pumunta siya agad sa akin at sinabi niya na kinakabahan na siya sa speaking niya kasi baka daw mababa yung score niya kasi sinabi niya na honestly, I'm not familiar with that topic, but as soon as I get home, I will do my research about it, gain knowledge about it. Yun yung sinabi niya kasi ayaw niyang malito pa siya at magbigay siya ng wrong information. Sabi ko naman sa kanya, you know, Mark, huwag kang kabahan. Nag-gauge ko na yung level mo, alam kong papasa ka sa speaking. And after 24 hours, binalita niya sa akin, naka 8.5 siya sa speaking. Amazing, right? Oh my gosh. Guys, kaya niyo yan. All right. We will have a quick 5-minute break and then we will talk about common linking words and discourse markers. Medyo mahaba-haba to. So, kung ako sa inyo, grab some coffee, get something to eat. Okay? See you in a few minutes. Oh my gosh, guys, wait. I need to answer this call. So we will be discussing the common linking words discourse markers. Don't worry, I will be sending you a handout with a complete discourse markers and linking words that you could use. Okay? So, sa iba't ibang situation, pwede niyong gamitin. At saka, naka-identify naka-identify, naka-categorize lahat. Okay? For example, ano ba yung pwede mong gamitin kung band 6 ka or band 7 yung target mo? Okay? Kinategorize ko na lahat so that you would know which one you should use. Okay? So when you are introducing opinions, you can use soft introductory phrases. So when you show that you are unsure about something, yung hindi ka 100% sure sa sagot mo, you can say, I guess, I think, I feel. All right? You can start your answer. Sa speaking to sa speaking. You can start your answer with these introductory phrases. So, I guess people spend too much time on social media these days. Kasi hindi ka naman nagpe-present ng any statistical data. So, pwede mong gamitin yung I guess. Sasabihin mo lang na, it is proven that a lot of people spend too much time on social media these days according to this survey result from the internet. Ganon yung sasabihin mo kapag sure na sure ka. Pero kung opinion mo lang naman at observation mo lang, pwede mo nang gamitin yung I think, I feel, I guess. Okay? Now, if you want to use the standard or neutral tone, you can use these safe and formal introductory phrases. It sounds more academically inclined and it sounds better. In my opinion, I believe, from my point of view, personally, okay, para naman may variation. Baka kasi nagamit mo na ng ilang beses yung I think o yung I feel, I guess. Parang paulit-ulit na lang. Sa susunod, ito naman gamitin mo. From my point of view, reading books is better than watching TV. Okay. Next we have, this is for higher bands or when you are going to answer questions on task 3 or part 3 of your interview, mas magandang gamitin tong phrases na to. It shows a stronger effect, it has a stronger impact, and it definitely shows more confidence. Okay? So, pwede mong sabihin, pag opinion-based na yung tanong, you can start by saying, I strongly believe, or I am convinced that, I strongly believe. It shows that you are 100% sure of your opinion, right? I strongly believe that exercise is essential for a healthy lifestyle. Speaking of exercise, our brain is a muscle. Our brain is like a muscle. I mean, you need to exercise it too. You need to feed it regularly. Okay? Kasi kailangan talaga. Alam nyo, may mga taong makakalimutin. You can blame it to the genetics. Pero, hindi kasi masyadong natatrain yung brain kaya makakalimutin. Di ba yung mga matatanda, makakalimutin na sila? Kasi yun na yung age nila na hindi na sila masyadong exposed sa academically inclined materials. Di ba? Ikaw, kapag hindi mo din pinapractice yung profession mo, makakalimutan mo yan eventually. Hindi ibig sabihin na sharp memory ng tao matalino siya. Ibig sabihin lang nung tinatrain niya yung brain niya. Okay? So, ganun din sa IELTS. You have to train your brain. Ako, ako yung, hindi ko naman fina-flex na sharp yung memory ko pero ganun na nga. May pagka-sharp yung memory ko talaga kasi I read a lot. It's my job to research. It's my job to study and to teach. Kaya naman natitrain yung brain ko. Pero feeling ko, kung hindi ko trabaho to, baka sakaling na-rot na rin yung brain ko. Kasi, ang gagawin ko na lang siguro, scroll-scroll lang sa Reels. Ang lakas makarot ng brain yung pagsuscroll sa Reels, ha? Kasi, um, hindi siya, short-term memory lang ang ginagamit niyo dyan. Okay. There is no doubt that walang pagdududa. There's no doubt that technology has changed the way we communicate. Kapag ganito yung intro mo, kailangan make sure mag-present ka ng evidence. Magbigay ka ng examples na kayang isubstantiate yung sagot mo. Kasi sabi mo, walang pagdududa. There's no doubt that technology has changed the way we communicate. Now, you have to present reasons how you can convince the person you're talking to that technology has changed the way we communicate. Magbigay ka ng realistic examples na maikukumpara yung panahon, the time that we were not using technology and the time that we were using technology. The time that we are using technology, I mean. Hindi na, I turned that off because I felt cold. Is it okay? So, lalakasan ko ngayon to para kaya niyang palamigin yung buo. Wait lang, guys. Something is in my eye. Nakaka-bother. Just give me a second. Okay. Use these sparingly to avoid sounding too formal. Great for giving answers on part 3. Okay, sparingly. Ibig sabihin, wag masyadong gamitin to kasi masyadong formal pakinggan. So, mas magandang gamitin lang to sa task 3, which is kailangan naman talaga ng more um, academically inclined answers sa task 3 ng speaking. Okay, extra tips. Pagdating sa paggamit ng introductory phrases, ito yung extra IELTS tips natin. Vary your opinion starters in the exam. Don't repeat I think in every sentence. Yun na nga, sabi ko kanina, kailangan magpakita ka ng iba't ibang variation para naman mabilib si examiner at tumaas yung score mo sa lexical resource vocabulary, right? Combine with reason and example to score higher. So, nagbigay ka ng sagot, right? Ngayon yung sagot mo, magpe-present ka ng reason at saka ng example. Kagaya ng example dito. I think studying abroad is beneficial. So, nag-agree siya na studying abroad is beneficial for that specific person. So, because it allows you to experience different cultures. For example, I met students from 5 countries in my exchange program. Napaka-short lang. Kung tutusin, 2 sentence lang tong sagot niya, pero complete na. Sinabi niya kung ano yung opinion niya. Sabi niya, agree ako. Studying abroad is beneficial. Sinabi rin niya yung dahilan kung ba't siya nag-agree. At ang dahilan niya kung ba't nag-agree, because studying abroad allows you to experience different cultures. Kasi nga naman, marami kang makikilala pang ibang tao from different cultures. And I really believe when you get to know different cultures, mag-iiba talaga yung perspective mo sa buhay. Mag-iiba yung mga goals mo at aspirations mo. And even your standards. Your standards are gonna improve once you are exposed to different cultures. Diba? It's also a matter of environment. Kapag nagsistay ka lang sa same environment the whole time, hindi ka challenge eh. Diba? Hindi ka parang lahat naman ng tao common na sa kanila tong gantong environment. So, I don't need to do better. I don't need to level up my standards. Pero pag may nakilala kang ibang tao na mas mataas yung standards, parang, wow, I can be like that pala. I can also achieve those standards, 'di ba? Lalawak yung pananaw mo sa mundo. Okay. Hindi pagiging ambisyoso yon, pagiging ano yon, growth mindset yon, tawag doon. Okay? Growth mindset. Pero everything excessive is also bad. Kasi minsan, nagiging greedy na yung ibang tao. Yun naman yung kailangan nating malaman paano i-control. 'Di ba? Kasi hindi naman din lahat ng sobra ay nakakabuti. 'Di ba? Life advice. Parang naging life coaching na to. Hindi na to IELTS coaching. Okay, so now we're moving on to introducing reasons. Kanina kasi yung mga discourse markers, linking words na tinakal natin is introducing ideas. Ngayon naman, introducing reasons. Napakahalaga sa IELTS speaking that you're reasoning out. Okay? Meaning, ine-expound mo yung sagot mo. It's important because you need to come up with more sentences. You need to come up with more answers. At kung hindi mo siya i-reason out, paano ma-evaluate ng maayos ng examiner yung speaking skills mo? 'Di ba? So, gagamitan mo siya ng simple linking words such as because of, or since. I prefer studying at night because it's quieter. Everyone is asleep at night. Even the neighbors are not noisy. I live in a neighborhood wherein it's quite populated and kids are quite noisy during the day, so I prefer studying at night. O, diba? You gave a reason, you gave an example which is realistic and true to your experiences. Pwede naman yun eh. Okay? Just be madaldal, okay na yun. You will be able to expound your answers. Why do you like your city? Why do you like your hometown? I like my hometown because there is a growing economy and my parents own a business. That's why my hometown is perfect for our business. We own a retail grocery business, and one of the main industries in my city or in my hometown is the daily groceries. Ah, diba? Ganon. Okay. Don't avoid because examiners like clear answers. Introducing reasons. Teka lang ha, balikan natin tong don't avoid because examiners like clear answers. Hindi yung tipong pag tinanong ka ng tanong, tapos makikipagtitigan ka pa kay examiner. Na para bang inaantay mo na lang siyang magtanong ng magtanong. Hindi ganun, okay? Dapat matuto kayong mag-take initiative. Okay? Kahit hindi tinatanong, hindi nagbibigay ng follow-up question, kung alam mo na ang iksi lang ng sagot mo, ikaw na yung magkusa. Alright? So, ang tamang approach, do you like traveling? Yes, I do. In fact, early this 2026, my family and I went to one of the most popular cities in the Philippines. The name of the city is Baguio City, and it's located in the northern area of the Philippines. And it's known for its cold temperature and beautiful pine trees. Ganon, di ba? Very kabog yung sagot. Hindi na siya magtatanong pa kasi kinumpleto mo na eh. Kaya maganda yon, yung marami ka nang nasasabi kasi hindi ka na niya tatanungin ng iba't ibang tanong. Ano ba mas gusto nyo? Konti yung itanong sa inyo or iba't ibang topic? Kasi nakakalito pa pag iba't ibang topic yung tinanong ni examiner, tama ba? Kayo, ano preference nyo? Maraming itanong sa inyo na iba't ibang topic or konti lang ang itanong? Pero kaya konti lang ang tinanong kasi sapat na yung mga sinagot mo. Okay? Siguro naman lahat sa atin ang gusto natin, limited lang din yung itanong. Common IELTS friendly reason starters. We have the main reason is that. One reason is, this is because, that's why, para meron pa kayong more variation. Because of course, expounding your answers is really the best key. $11:09 pa lang. Tagal ng oras. Naiinip na ba kayo? We still have 50 minutes left before we end our lecture. Now, if you want a more developed answer or higher band expressions, pag band 7, 8, 9 ang ina-aim mo, these are really good introductory phrases to introduce your reasons. One of the main reasons is that public transport reduces traffic. The reason why people migrate is that they want better opportunities. You guys are about to migrate to a different country to study or to work abroad. So tell me, what is the reason why you want to choose abroad? Sige, magkwentuhan tayo. Why do you want to work or migrate to another country? Although I know the answer to that question is really obvious, but I want to hear from you guys. Natutulog na ba ang lahat? Guys, answer my question naman. Okay. Could you tell me why do you want to study abroad? Are you gonna study or work abroad? Okay. Why do you think studying abroad is better than studying in the Philippines? Na-pressure siya, guys. Na-pressure siya. Okay, sige. Tagalog na lang. Go. Mhm. You're aiming for permanent residency, meaning talagang gusto mo nang lisanin ng Pilipinas. What's the problem with the Philippines then? Ang sagot niya marami daw buhaya. Are we pertaining to family members or political members? In general na, no? Yeah, you're right. You're right about that. Well, we all know na life is better abroad. Kasi sa situation ng Philippines right now, kagaya ng sabi ko kanina, the right environment is necessary to reach one's maximum potential. And if you feel like Philippines is not the right environment for you to reach your maximum potential, then might as well go abroad. Job opportunities, yes. Career opportunities, yes. That's right. Okay. Fluent spoken connectors. That's probably because that it has a lot to do with partly because it's cheap and partly because it's convenient. O di ba very natural pakinggan pag ginamitan mo ng ganitong connectors. So extra tips for introducing reasons. Start with a strong answer. And a strong answer is always a combination of your opinion, the reason behind it, and a small example. I think online learning is effective because it allows students to study at their own pace. For example, working students can watch recorded lessons at night. So, maganda rin tong hybrid setup natin, which is pwedeng face-to-face, pwede rin namang online via Zoom, at pwede rin namang manood na lang ng replay lectures, right? So, naiintindihan ko, maraming hindi nakakapunta nowadays dito for face-to-face lectures because, lalo na kung may sarili kayong sasakyan at ang mahal talaga ng diesel gasolina. Tumaas na naman nga, 'di ba? Today ba? Today or yesterday tumaas. So I really believe that kung ano man yung mas convenient sa inyo, okay lang 'yan. Go lang kayo. Basta tatandaan nyo, nandito lang kami lagi. Open ang Niners. Bukod lang last week. Kasi syempre Holy Week yon. Gets nyo naman yun, guys, right? Okay, next we have introducing results of something. We're done with phrases that you could use in introducing ideas and reasons. Now we're down to the third category, which is introducing results of something. Kasi malay nyo ang itanong sa inyo, what do you think are the solutions for traffic congestion? So, syempre magpe-present din kayo ng results, right? So, these are the easy and most common ones. We have the word so, that's why, as a result. Okay? For example, the reason why there is traffic congestion in Metro Manila is because it's overpopulated. That's why I believe that local government units should improve job career opportunities in provinces so that people do not need to go to the metro for better job opportunities. Diba? So yun sa mga solutions. Because of this results in poor planning results in delays. And these are more commonly and friendly expressions that you could use. Now, if you want higher band 7 pataas, ito naman ang pwede mong gamitin. Consequently, public transport is limited. Consequently, people rely on cars. Nakikita niyo ba kung anong nangyayari sa Metro Manila? Napapanood niyo ba yung balita? Dahil sa sobrang taas ng gasolina, ng price ng oil, ayaw nang mag-private transpo ng mga tao. So, lahat na nagpa-public transportation. Sorry, maling gamitin yung term na nagko-commute. Kasi commute means traveling from one place to another, from home to work, yun yung commute. Okay? Hindi porket nag-public transport ka, commute yun ah. Commute is the act of going from one place to another, transporting, whether it's a private or a public vehicle. So, mali yung paggamit ng mga Pilipino ng word na commute. Magko-commute lang ako para makamura. Hindi ganon, okay? Commute, it means, how long was your commute time? Ibig sabihin, from my home to this office, my commute time was 30 minutes. Whether I'm using a private car or private vehicle or public transport. Commute din tawag doon, okay? So ngayon, totoo yun. Ang daming nagpa-public transport na nowadays kasi nga ayaw nilang magpagasolina, sobrang mahal. Tinitipid nila, right? Yung tipong may inflation na nga dahil sa war, lumala pa yung inflation. Nakakaiyak na lang talaga, guys. Hindi ako naiiyak. Charot lang. Ako kasi I use public transport kaya hindi naman ako ganun ka-affected. Pero syempre, yung mga bilihin, sobrang taas na din talaga. Guys, yung 1K nyo, when you go to the public market, ano na lang yung mabibili, right? Anyways, as a consequence, the company cut costs. As a consequence, some workers lost their jobs. This is the saddest thing ever. When you get laid off, tapos kailangan na kailangan mo pa ng pera that time. You needed the money at that time, but doon ka pa talaga na laid off from work. Pero hindi mo naman kasalanan. Kasalanan ng inflation or nagtitipid kasi the company wants to cut costs. But that's okay, guys. I believe that everything happens for a reason. Baka sakaling kaya ka na laid off sa work because may mas ibang mas okay na opportunity for you. Okay? This has resulted in. Okay, so ito pa yung mga pwede niyong gamitin. And this means, so the result is, in the long run. Ako mahilig kong gamitin tong in the long run na to kasi I think it sounds good and natural. To sound fluent, chain ideas smoothly. Dito talaga mag-i-improve yung coherence, yung fluency tsaka coherence nyo sa pag-chain ng ideas. I think public transport should be improved because it reduces traffic. And as a result, cities become less polluted. Tama. Kaso, paano na nga ang gagawin natin kung lahat ng funds na ibulsa na? Diba? Ngayon natin talaga nararamdaman yung crisis at lahat ng effect ng corruption. Kasi wala tayong improved public transport. Kaya ngayon na nagkaroon ng price hike sa oil, walang magawa. Nakita niyo ba kung gaano kadagsa at kahaba yung pila sa Metro Manila ng mga LRT, MRTs? Nakakaloka. Guys, naranasan ko yun kaya nga never na ako bumalik sa Manila to work eh. I used to work in Manila before, pero grabe, naranasan kong pagod na pagod ka sa pag-akyat baba ng LRT, tapos malilate ka pa rin. kapag kasi na-late ka, hindi mo makukuha yung perfect attendance incentive. Sayang din yon nung panahon na yon, malaking bagay din yung perfect attendance incentive. So, lagi ako nalilate, di ako na-perfect sa attendance. Well, yun. These are words that you could use to express uncertainty. I suppose, maybe, perhaps. It seems that, it appears that, as far as I know, ayan, which will all be included in the handouts that I will be attaching to this replay video tonight. Okay? Now let's move on to our next and probably the last topic that we have for today. Kasi hindi na magiging sapat yung oras. This is a really big problem, especially pagdating sa task 3 questions. Ganito kasi yung mentality ng mga test takers. Porket last part na siya ng interview, bahala na, para na lang matapos to, sige kung ano na lang isasagot ko. Di ba ganun kayo mag-isip? Parang, patapos na yung exam, okay na siguro to. Okay na yung sagot ko na yun. Di ko na masyadong i-explain. Di ko na pahahabain. Nagkakamali kayo kung ganun yung approach nyo sa task 3 ng IELTS speaking. Kasi actually, yung task 1, hindi siya ganun ka-importante. Mas importante yung task 3. Why? Isipin nyo, task 3, ito yung last na maririnig sa inyo ng examiner. And the last few answers that you give are the most impactful ones. Impactful. Okay? Baka mamaya iba yung rinig nyo sa sinabi ko. Impactful at mas nagli-leave ng expression. Good impression. Impression, I mean. Okay? So, kailangan organize yung mga sagot nyo, lalo na sa task 3. Because task 3 questions are more analytical and critical. So, kailangan makapag-isip at organize kayo ng ideas dyan. At kapag hindi kasi organize yung mga sagot nyo, nakakalito siya pakinggan at maaring ma-misinterpret ka lang ni examiner. So, we have these different strategies on how you can organize your answers. So we have number 1, chronological order, spatial order, casual order, problem solution order, and topical order. Let's discuss each. Yeah. Chronological order, from the word chrono, which means time, and logical means a good flow. Ibig lang sabihin nito, kapag nagpo-provide ka ng sagot, make sure na may tamang time frame. Okay? So, let's say, ang tanong sa'yo, please talk about your daily routine. Please talk about your daily routine. So, syempre, pag sinabi nating daily routine, you have to start with your morning errands, okay? Morning errands. And then move on tayo sa lunch or afternoon. Errands in the afternoon, right? And lastly, what you do in the evening at bedtime. Okay? So, yun yung chronological order. Or tell me about your job history, your work experiences. So, syempre, ang unahin mo kung paano ka nagsimula. Or, tell me more about your business. I-organize mo yung isip mo. I-explain mo muna, how did you come up with that business? What's the reason why you opened that business? And then you can talk about what happened in the middle, and then talk about what's going on nowadays in your business. So, yun yung chronological order. May mga tanong, naintindihan ba mabuti? Okay, now spatial order. This is used when you are asked questions about geographical descriptions or anything that talks about space. Okay? For example, let's talk about your home. Can you describe your house or your residential area? Pwedeng yung neighborhood mo, pwedeng yung bahay mo, okay? So, residential area, yung neighborhood mo. So, magbigay ka muna ng general information. I live in a big neighborhood. Or, if you live in a private subdivision or private village, pwede mo rin banggitin yun, okay? And then, you can mention na anong klaseng community. Now, when you talk about your home or your house, of course, kailangan muna magsimula ka sa either exterior ng bahay nyo or interior. Pero, syempre, ako kasi, mas prefer ko na yung exterior muna yung pag-usapan, yung i-discuss ko bago ko magbigay ng more details about the interior. Pero hindi naman din kailangan ng sobrang lahat na lang ng bagay or corner ng bahay nyo i-discuss mo na, okay? That's not necessary. OA na yon. Yung simple lang, okay? For example, do you live in a house or an apartment? Yun muna yung sasabihin mo. I live in an apartment. Okay? Our apartment is a 10-story building. Or pwede rin naman, I live in an apartment with 10 different houses. But every unit is a bungalow. Pwedeng ganon, okay? Yun ba yung tawag doon? But anyways, iba kasi yung mga apartments dito sa Pilipinas nakahanay na ganun. Pero sa ibang bansa kasi, every floor ang apartment. So, sabihin mo muna, I live in an apartment. It's a 10-story apartment. I live on the 5th floor. Ganon, okay? Pero kung ayaw mo naman nang banggitin yun, pwede namang hindi na. And then, you can say kung gaano siya ka-spacious. I think it's spacious given the fact that it's just suitable for a family of 3. I live with my husband and our 2-year-old son. The apartment has its own kitchen, living area, and 3 bedrooms. 1 bedroom is the master's bedroom, my son's bedroom, and an extra guest room. Our apartment also has a wide veranda wherein we have coffee every morning. My favorite place in my apartment is definitely the living area because we have a lot of entertainment appliances such as a 75-inch TV with a good sound system. So I really love singing at the karaoke. So we have a karaoke setup at home and I can sing whenever I want with a big screen. Or on the weekend, it's movie time for the family. So we gather. I invite over my siblings and my parents. We watch movies together. We bond. Ganon, okay? Lagyan mo ng personal touch. Yung mga kunento ko na yun, invento ko lang yun, guys, ha? Hindi yun totoo. Pero di ba, kapani-paniwala siya, depende on how you execute your answers. Naman. So, ngayon naman, if hindi ka nakatira sa apartment, let's talk about the exterior. I live in a 2-story house. It has a wide front yard, but we don't really have a spacious backyard. The front yard can fit 2 vehicles comfortably, and it also has a grass area, because I really love plants and I've started collecting different plants for my garden. Our house has 4 bedrooms, a kitchen, and a living room on the first floor. Our living room is quite spacious because we do have um we have a couch set which can accommodate 8 to 10 people. We love family gatherings, so whenever we have family gatherings, I invite over my cousins, my uncles and aunties, and we have Sunday dinners all together. And then the most aesthetic part of my house is our plants, indoor plants. I have plants in our garden and I also have plants indoors because I really believe it adds accent to my house and it's a good source of oxygen as well. So that's why, yon, ganun, okay? I-organize mo yung ideas mo in spatial order. Okay, wrong yung spelling nito. Dapat dito causal. Causal to ha, hindi to casual. Causal. Cause and effect. This is used when you are talking about the cause and effect of something. It's a little bit similar to problem solution. Okay? Pero hindi siya exactly similar kasi cause and effect is what do you think causes global warming? What are the effects of global warming? So, i-discuss mo muna yung ano sa tingin mo yung cause ng global warming and then move on sa effects. Okay? I think 2 causes, 2 effects, okay na yun. At least may masabi ka, di ba? Pero kung tig-isa lang naman, isang cause, isang effect, at least na-expound mo siya ng maayos at unahin mo muna yung cause bago ka pumunta sa effect. Magandang organizational skill yon, okay? Problem solution then. Why do you think in most indigenous communities, teenage pregnancy is so rampant? One of the reasons why teenage pregnancy is is quite high. The rate of teenage pregnancy is quite high in poor areas of a country is because they lack proper education and family planning. Ngayon, yun yung problem. Ngayon, bigyan mo ng solution. I really believe that the solution to this is the local government units need to provide programs to educate individuals. Masyadong, I know the way I answered it is academically inclined, pero ganun talaga kasi sa task 3. Kailangan mo talagang i-level up yung game mo pagdating sa vocabulary, okay? Topical order naman, magbibigay ka ng different subtopics. Meron tayong main topic, tas magbibigay ka ng subtopics. For example, what do you think are the qualities of a good educator? Ang main topic natin, good educator. So, ang subtopics naman natin ay yung iba't ibang qualities na sa tingin mo, yun yung kailangan para maging good educator. So, ano sa tingin niyo yung iba't ibang qualities ng isang good educator? Yes, Ralph. Ralph, pangalan mo, di ba? Ano sa tingin mo yung qualities ng good educator? Hardworking, right? One of the good qualities of an educator should be being hardworking, being intelligent, right? And I think being optimistic. Kasi kung gusto mong maging effective educator, kailangan nakakahawa yung energy mo. Ayaw mo naman makahawa ng negative energy, di ba? So, kailangan positive, di ba? Be optimistic. Kasi I believe that the lecturer or the educator, siya yung nagsiset ng mood ng isang lecture or room. Pag masama yung mood ng educator, makikita mo lahat ng students, bad mood na rin, bad vibes na rin, di ba? Ayaw natin ng ganun. Okay, so ayun na yung subtopics natin. Ang main topic natin are qualities of a good educator. Now we're gonna use the topical order, which is being hardworking, being, ano na yung sinabi ko kanina? Optimistic, and intelligent. Siyempre, intelligent talaga. Alam nga naman, hindi ka naman magiging educator kung hindi ka intelligent, di ba? Yon. Ngayon, i-discuss mo yun isa-isa. Magbigay ka ng reason, magbigay ka din ng example. Okay. I believe that an educator should be hardworking. Being a teacher or a lecturer entails a lot of different tasks. If an educator is not hardworking, does not show effort in executing effective lectures and classes, I really believe that the educator sets the standards for students. If an educator works hard to achieve excellence, his or her students will also do the same. For example, my students see me as someone who has a good demeanor, a positive demeanor in life. I am someone who goes to work, has good punctuality. I don't miss my classes. I come on time. I execute my lessons effectively. So I set an example to my students. That's why some of my students tell me, I want to be like you one day. I want to be as hardworking as you. Kasi nakikita nila na I'm a hardworking person and I also enjoy my life. Kasi ngayon, yung mga bata nakikita na rin yung social media nyo. 'Di ba? Ng mga educators. So, parang, ay, nakaka-inspire naman si ma'am, ang hardworking niya, kaya ang dami niyang blessing sa life or na-enjoy niya yung life niya kasi hardworking siya eh, di ba? So, yon. Give a reason and examples. Ngayon naman, pag tapos mo nang madiscuss yung pagiging hardworking na quality, nabigyan mo siya ng hustisya. And the second one is being optimistic. I really believe that an educator is someone who has to have a positive outlook in life because one of the most influential people in our lives is our teachers. The people who give us lessons and also share a lot of wisdom. Second to our parents is our teachers, educators. And lastly, being intelligent. I believe that you can't give what you don't have. So educators who are intelligent cannot give effective lessons if they are not effective themselves. Diba? In the world we live in, a lot of students can be smarter because we all have access to online resources. Sometimes students are smarter than the teachers, but they should not outsmart teachers because teachers should always be prepared for their lessons, should do their research properly, and should give optimum lessons for best results for their students. Ganyan, okay? Ganun talaga kailangan mong i-expound yung answers mo. 11:39. Let's continue. Do you have any questions before we continue, guys? Uy, nakakapagod dumaldal ng 2 oras na ako dumadaldal, guys. 9, 10, 9:30, 10. Yeah, 2 hours. Can't believe it. Okay. The next common mistake in speaking is hesitation and self-correction. Okay. It's so cold. Well, I'm not entirely sure, but I think social media is helpful. Actually helpful for communication because it allows people to stay connected easily. Pag masyadong maraming dead, dead, dead air, sorry, millennial brain. Pag maraming masyadong dead air sa sentences mo or sa mga sagot mo, it can highly affect the cohesiveness of your answers, okay? So, make sure that you're confident whenever you're answering. Kailangan pinaprocess na ng brain mo yung sagot mo bago mo pa siya makonstruct sa sentences. Kinoconstruct na dapat ng brain mo bago ka pa magsalita. Think in English. It should happen like that. So, one of the causes of hesitation and self-correction is focusing too much on vocabulary and grammar. Sabi ko nga kanina, kung alam mo naman na ang level mo ay intermediate level, wag mo nang masyadong OA-yan yung vocabulary mo. Who's this? Yeah, sure. Okay. So, isa sa mga dahilan kung ba't marami kang nako-commit na mistakes is because masyado kang conscious sa grammar mo. So, when you make mistakes, wag mo na siyang ulitin or i-correct on the spot. Hayaan mo lang siya para hindi na siya masyadong mapansin at i-correct mo na lang yung susunod mong sasabihin. Okay? Changing answers in the middle of speaking, hindi din to maganda kasi ibig sabihin, you are not consistent with your answers. You have to show consistency in your answers, okay? Huwag pa bago-bago. Yung una nag-agree ka na, tapos biglang, ay, disagree ka pala. Hindi maganda yung ganun. Kasi ibig sabihin, hindi mo na pag-isipan mabuti or unsure ka sa sinasabi mo, which is not a good thing. Long pauses and keeping quiet. Yung tipong tinanong ka ng examiner. Let's say the question is, would you prefer to live in the country area, in the countryside, or in the metro? Tapos, mahabang silence. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. What I'm trying to say is that education shapes our future. Okay, ibang topic to. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Kapag sinabi mo yan, ibig sabihin hindi ka masyadong present sa interview. So, it can reduce your score in fluency. Okay? So, kapag hindi mo talaga ma-process sa isip mo yung tanong, it just means you have to ask for repetition or be honest. Pero, back, gusto kong i-reiterate yung fact na when you take your IELTS test, you have to be holistically prepared. Kaya sinasabi ko sa students, before taking the test, a week before, kailangan prepared ka mentally, intellectually, emotionally, physically. Kasi it can highly affect your performance sa buong exam, lalo na sa interview. Okay? Sadly, may isang student, nag-review naman siya ng matagal. Pumapasok siya, nagpapa-coaching siya. Although sinabihan ko siya, huwag ka munang mag-take ng exam. I think you're not yet ready. Pinush niya pa rin yung exam. Pero para kasing wala siya sa tamang emotional emotional state nung panahon na yon. Maraming gumugulo sa isip niya, hindi pa siya confident. Sobrang nag-fail yung performance niya sa interview. Not because hindi siya makapagsalita ng English, but because hindi siya emotionally ready. Na may mental block kasi yung mga taong hindi emotionally ready. Although, kaya mo naman magsalita, pero parang walang nangyayari, parang walang lumalabas kasi nga, hindi ka pa mentally, emotionally prepared. That's why preparation is so important. And, ina-advise ko lagi sa mga students, pag nakaset na yung day ng exam nyo, yung date, 24 hours bago yung exam, kailangan hindi ka na nag-aaral, hindi ka na nagpa-practice, relax na yung isip mo. Kung pwede ka nga lang mag-book ng hotel room na malapit sa exam venue, mas maganda yon. Relax ka lang doon, lumayo ka muna sa mga magugulong mong kapamilya, ganun. Or, yun, kasi, di ba, nakaka-help siya to stabilize your mental state. Ganun yung ginagawa ng ibang, candidates. And effective naman. Kasi may mga students kami na malalayo. So, nasa-stress sila sa traffic. Minsan nalalate, nakakalimutan yung ID. Pero kung nakabook ka ng stay malapit sa exam venue, at least meron ka ng preparation at kalmado na yung isip mo, di ba? Hindi mo na iisipin yung traffic or kung ano mang delay na pwedeng mangyari. If you can afford it, then you should do it, okay? So, one of the reasons why a lot of test takers have problems with keeping quiet is because masyado mong iniisip na gusto mong ma-impress si examiner sa mga sagot mo. Don't worry, because this is not an intelligence test. Eto, distracted daydreaming. Akala niyo ba nagbibiro ako pag sinabi kong you have to be spiritually prepared? Kasi yung spirit natin, minsan meron tayong low spirit. Minsan naman high spirit, di ba? Minsan distracted ka or kung ano-ano yung iniisip mo. Overthink mo yung lahat ng bagay. Kailangan do something. Yoga. Yoga is helpful. Meditation. Yoga. Pray. Pray. Um, do something that makes you happy. Probably order your favorite food. Nakaka-boost yan ng dopamine, right? Dopamine, nakaka-low siya ng cortisol levels. So, might as well resort to that. Ako kasi kapag medyo alam ko na low yung energy ko or low yung spirit ko, hindi ko na pinupush masyado yung sarili ko na mag-work. Or hindi ko na masyadong dinadagdagan ng stressful activities. I really pay attention to my feelings, to my spirit, at ginagawan ko siya ng paraan para hindi na siya mag-accumulate. Kasi kadalasan sa mga lalaki to, hindi nyo pinapansin masyado yung nararamdaman nyo, sineset aside nyo yung emotional turmoils nyo. Ngayon, nag-accumulate yan. One day, tasabog na lang, okay? Kaya, wag nyo i-underestimate yung kung ano mang pinagdadaanan nyo. Kailangan nyo yan i-address. Address your feelings, your emotions, so that it won't take a toll on you on the day na kailangan mo ng high spirits. And isa sa mga dahilan kung bakit maraming long pauses is because you're thinking of better words or appropriate words. Make use of available words or i-describe mo yung situation. Alright? Another common mistake is short answers. Ayan. Short answer to, kahit 2 sentences yan. Have you ever traveled abroad? Yes, I have. I went to Japan last year. Bakit? Kasi kailangan dito sana. Why did you go to Japan? Among all the other countries, why Japan? Or, what did you do in Japan? Kasi pwede mo pa ito dagdagan. Yes, I have. I went to Japan last year. It was my ultimate dream to travel to Japan, and I'm so happy that I was able to do that with my family. We tried a lot of local Japanese food, such as ramen, sushi, and yeah, tonkatsu, whatever. Di pala ako masyadong aware sa Japanese cuisine, guys. I'm not really into it. I'm more into Italian cuisine. So, ginastify yung sagot. And then you can add information. We went there during spring season and I was able to witness the beauty of cherry blossoms. Yan. Okay, yun yung magandang sagot. Never answer yes or no only. And never answer using one word or single sentences. Always aim to give the reasons and to give examples. Okay? Maraming nagkakaproblema sa speaking task 2 kasi nililimit nyo lang yung mga sagot nyo sa mga bullet questions. Hindi ganon, okay? Sa task 2, para ka lang nagkikwento sa kaibigan. Alam ko may structure yan. May main question, may bullet questions. Hindi mo kailangang sagutin isa-isa. Yung iba, babasahin pa yung tanong bago sagutin. Basahin mo, bibigyan ka ng 1 minute para paghandaan yung buong sagot mo sa task 2, di ba? So ngayon, sa 1 minute na yon, magsulat ka ng keywords para sisilip-silipin mo na lang siya habang sumasagot ka sa task 2. And then, hayaan mo lang na mag-flow yung conversation. 2 minutes naman yon, isa-stop ka naman ni examiner once naabot mo na yung 2 minutes. So, hayaan mo lang na magkwento ka, but make sure na makover mo lahat ng questions na nasa bullet questions kasi hindi maganda yung magiging result kung magsiskip ka ng answers. Another common mistake is getting off topic. The question is, what is your favorite hobby? Well, my favorite hobby is reading books. The recent book I read was about weddings. Actually, last week I went to my cousin's wedding and it was amazing. The food was great and everyone was dancing. I also wore a very nice dress. Oh, and my uncle gave a long speech about his travels, but reading books is nice too, I guess. Ang topic kasi natin, favorite hobby. Ang kinuwento niya, yung wedding ng cousin niya. Off topic to. Kasi ang tanong, what's your favorite hobby? So, mag-stick ka sa reading books. My favorite hobby is reading books. I love reading fantasy and novels as well. Whenever I have free time, especially on weekends, I spend me time at a cafe reading my favorite novels. I think I spend roughly 2 hours at a cafe alone reading books. I really enjoy it, even though cafes tend to be quite noisy. But whenever I am in an aesthetic cafe with the aroma of coffee, I think that's the perfect time to read my favorite books. And whenever I read books, I feel like I go to a different dimension. That's why reading books is my favorite escape. O di ba nag-stick lang tayo sa reading books. Ganun yung key para hindi ma-off topic. Isipin mo kung ano yung main question. So, wala na tayong oras, guys. Tatapusin ko na yung lecture. Do you have any questions before we end? Tomorrow's activity is for you to attend the coaching session and your computer mock test. So, I hope makapunta kayong lahat dito kasi productive naman yung araw na yon. Okay? Lalo na, ang daming bagong students dito. Si Frederick, si Daniel, si Shira. Haven't met you guys. And Mario, right? Even you, Jam and Daniel, you have to come here tomorrow for the coaching sessions. I think Sir Kevin's gonna be here tomorrow. It's a great opportunity for you to talk to him. If you want, you can also submit your writing outputs para ma-checkan niya. Okay? So, marami kayong pwedeng gawin tomorrow. Computer mock test, speaking mock test, at magpa-check ng writing. Kung sino man sa amin ni Sir Kevin, i-accommodate namin kayo. Okay? So, the computer lab is open at 9 a.m. I think coaching will start at 9 or 9:30. Mag-antay na lang din kayo ng announcements. Be part of our group chats and always click the notifications, okay? That's it for today. I hope you learned something. Once, ma'am, nakapagpa-coach po ako sa inyo. Really, Mario? Hindi na kita matandaan. Mag-open ka nga ng cam para makita kita. I really can't remember.